Okay, it's Wednesday, so we're battling to get ready. Got a good matchup coming home. This is a kind of a segment of the schedule that will be something that we need to really cash in on. Playing at home, it has seemed like it's been rare for us this year. So this first time coming back, it's a big deal that we get started on the right foot and do a good job. You know, we're worried always about Kyle Shanahan team. He's a fantastic coach and does a great job with his offense. We've watched him for years and gone against him for years at different places and always have had great respect. And they can run it. They've got a really good scheme to get the quarterback out of the pocket. They do all kinds of really good things, and it's going to be a big challenge for us there. It's always important for us to run it, and hopefully we can do a good job. If you look at their stats, you're going to see they're giving up 100 yards a game rushing, which is really good and really solid. And Robert Saleh is doing a good job with those guys on defense. So we have a big matchup. We got to take this opportunity really seriously and do a good job of the week.
What have you seen out of Nick Mullins since he's taken over as their quarterback?
He's been efficient. He gets the ball out. They move him a lot, in the play action game. If you look at, it's been hard to get to him. He's only been sacked 4 times in about 100 throws. So he's done a real nice job there. He makes quick decisions. That's why he's getting rid of the football well, and they've mixed him in, to match up with the running game quite well.
Pete, what do you think Richard Sherman's legacy was in Seattle?
Consistently playing great football. He did it over a long period of time. Hit the scene, kind of big splash early on, and probably through year 2, when he kind of showed up and everybody knew he was out there and just kept doing it year after year after year.
Was he one of those guys that you kind of thought, maybe in the back of your mind, that you'd coach forever, that he would just play here his whole career? Did that kind of go through?
I do think that about these guys. I don't think about going to get them for a time and then they're going to go somewhere else. I don't think that. I'm all in, and so when it changes, it's it's a transition when they go. So yeah, I think like I said, I think that about all our guys.
Pete, what do you think the reception is going to be like for Richard with the fans?
They'll be great. I think he's loved around here for all the great stuff that he did. I would be surprised. I don't know that it's going to be noticeable what the reception is like, but if it's noticeable, then it's pretty significant. But I would think it's, he did a lot of great stuff here. I don't think our fans think any differently than I do about that.
What are your reflections on how it ended here? Do you have any regrets about? You seem to get a little bitter at the end.
We had tremendous conversations about all the way through the stages of what happened at the end. Sherman and I were, sitting in my office eye to eye, talking through everything, and it was really straightforward and clear. And he was handling his own business, so he had to really be on top of it, which he was, and he did a fantastic job for himself too. But our communications were great. We really haven't communicated since then. I don't know, there might be a couple messages here and there back and forth, but I've watched carefully to see how he's doing. And like I said earlier today, I was really concerned about his rehab and his coming back, and he did a marvelous job of getting back, and just like he knew he would. And but he still had to do it. It was a great accomplishment to get that done.
When you heard some of the things that he said on his way out, the critical comments about you guys losing your way or whatever, how did that make you feel?
I didn't hear many of those.
How did that make you feel?
Read a couple. Sherman had to do what he had to do. He had to change allegiance and get tuned into his new team, and whatever took place was okay. I don't care. I know who Sherman is. I know him way differently than you guys probably think we do, and I do. And I think the world of him. And there was times along the time he was here when he said things that I might not have agreed with, and had to work through and all of that. But he's his own man, and he was a stud of a guy when he was here, and whatever came out during the time when in the transition, came out. I don't care. I could care less about that.
Was it difficult to manage his relationship with you?
This is a Sherman meeting. Okay, good. Say it again.
Was it difficult to manage?
He was a challenge. Yeah, he was a challenge that many of our guys have been. It was a challenge in being willing to really work with somebody, and see the beautiful aspects of this individual. He was an amazing person, and I had great respect for him. So I was challenged because he's brilliant, and he had a lot of thoughts and this tremendous competitiveness about him that took him places that some other athletes don't get to, and every bit of it was worth it. Every bit of it was worth it.
Speaking of generically about athletes who are high profile, maybe high strung, what have you learned over the years about how much slack to give guys like that?
Okay, I don't know if you can talk generically about superstars, but everybody deserves everything I got throughout the process when they're here. I give them everything I got to help them, to see them, to understand them, to learn them, to love them up, to kick them in the ass, whatever it takes to help them be the best that they can be. And I don't know any other way to do it. And when a guy has that much to offer, the exchanges and the interchange and the time you think about dealing with the guys, it was rich. It was rich with creativity and being strong and true and all that. You mentioned giving the guy slack. I don't see it like that at all. You give the guy space to be who he is. And if you do that, you got a chance to find their greatness. And if you don't, you cut them short. And I think I would like to think it doesn't matter who the guy is. Some guys call for more attention than others, and he was well worth it.
You've won 9 in a row against these guys, including that NFC title game. Why do you think that is, that you guys have found so much success against the 49ers?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, Maybe it's because I was born in San Francisco. No, I don't know. I have no idea. It's just every week is a new week when you play them, The games before don't have anything to do with what's going on now.
Do you still feel the rivalry with them, even though they've kind of fallen on some harder times? When Jim was there was an obvious rivalry, clearly. Do you still feel that with the
You said there was. You never, ever heard me say that.
Was there a rivalry back then?
Not any different than anybody else. Every team we play is the toughest team, the most important team. I've told you that for years, and I ain't changing because that's the way I have to think to help us, focus the way we need to focus. But I understand that, because we played together in college or played against each other in college and all that kind of stuff, you see all that. But you give me a chance. I thought Jim was a great coach, and he is. He's a great coach, and that just brought out the best in us to try to match up with whatever he could put out there, and so we had some great battles, over the years and all that. If that's, the way you guys want to call a rivalry, I'm not trying to minimize that thought. That isn't the way I talk and act and think about it. But the better the other team is, the more it brings out the best you have, and that I love that. And that's why I like playing against guys like Sherm and guys that we've had in the past that were great players. It makes us have to, find our best, and that's a really cool thing.
What's your favorite memory of Sherman while he was here?
Probably the ball that he tipped, in the end zone, championship game. I think that was probably that moment was that's the on the field moment. Other than that, we had so many times when we were sharing things and getting through stuff and understanding what was the next step and listening to him kind of plan out and plot out how he was going to deal with what's going on in the world and all that. Those were great times. So I don't know if there's any one of those, but I think that moment when he tipped the ball was about as special as it gets.
What was the biggest challenge managing him?
I don't know. I didn't find it to be a challenge. That's just what I do. Just dealing with the understanding them probably is always the challenge. Is understanding really at the essence of who somebody is, and so that you can communicate most effectively. But that's I don't think it's any more of a challenge than other guys. Although he was pretty darn special and pretty unique.
Was his perspective and his intelligence, did it challenge authority? Did it challenge your authority? Did it challenge all of us?
Push the limits now. Yeah, he pushes the boundaries because he sees beyond what a lot of people see. He sees limit. He goes beyond what other people might be limited by. And I think that's an extraordinary characteristic of a person, and that's part of what it was that I loved about it so much. That was. He made you think and made you work and made you understand and made me come to understand. I didn't find that as a challenge. I thought it was a blessing that we got to work at stuff like that. And that's what makes coaching special and makes it fun, and dealing with people fun. And so it's a pretty good love fest for sure. Better get ready, buddy.
When does that management of that get to be too much for you and the consequences for the team?
With an individual player, when it's no longer about the team, you know, when the team is no longer of the essence, and then it's time to move on, you know, and that's where the limitations come in. You know, if somebody can't be all about what, you know, the cause and the brotherhood and all of that, then you know there's a time when you got to move on. And I'm not saying that that's what happened with Sherman at all. That's when I draw the line, you know, because as long as we're all in this together, then we're good, you know.
One more on Sherman. Okay, is it possible with Doug that he just won't be 100% all year? He'll be fighting his injuries, his nagging injuries all season long?
I told him today that I'm not going to say that this is the best he's felt, okay? Because I said that last week and then something happened with his groin. He feels really good. You know, that was amazing what he did last week for the groin strain that he had to play in a game like that and play at a high level. There aren't very many people that can do stuff like that. I mean, anybody that understands that injury in particular as a sprinter kind of athlete, I don't know how he did it. You know, doctors don't know how he did it either. He just did, and it was a, you know, in a sense, I mean, you know, make anything out of this more than it should be, but it was a heroic effort by him just to want to play and then to prove it that he could on game day and then to go out and play like crazy. He played a beautiful game and, you know, had 5 catches or something, you know. So I think he's doing great. You know, unfortunately we missed him by an inch. You know, and for the touchdown would have been a big play for us in the game. But other than that, he played a beautiful game. That wasn't him. Russ missed the throw.
Big numbers out of tight end. How much of that is George Kittle, and how much of that is Shanahan's offense and the way he gets those guys?
I think George Kittle's really good. He was a really good prospect coming out. He's a really talented player. He's a good blocker as well. But I think you can go to the coaching that recognize that and then put him in the positions too, you know. And so it's all of that. But he's a really good player.
How was the Niners had to change their offense a little bit with Mullins, or maybe relying on their running game a little bit more, just with the injuries?
Well, you know, they're a run-first team. They have been. You know, Kyle's always been that way. So it's not that much different. It's really the subtleties are, you know, there's some, but they're not worth mentioning. But it's pretty much their offense. You know, the style looks the same.
In this division, you've got in Sean McVay and in Kyle Shanahan, 2 guys that are considered by many to be, you know, among the brilliant young offensive guys. In what ways do you see that they're different, and maybe ways you see that they're the same?
Yeah, that's a cool question. One thing, they both kind of grew up under the Mike Shanahan kind of thing. You know, Kyle was in the house, but they kind of grew up together. The systems, and there's a lot of carryover there, you know, and the foundations of the running game is the same, you know, and so there's a lot of commonalities throughout. It's really fascinating to see Kyle go this way and Sean go this way with their stuff, because the offense don't look the same now. But when you know them as well as we do, you can see all of the commonality that's there. That's part of the you know, the foundation of what they're doing. So they're just different. They're both exceptional. They're savant young guys. You know, they're just way out there with what they do and how they challenge you. And I think it's really, for a ball coach, it's really exciting to see how different they've become when they started kind of in a similar place. So it's just a tribute to the you know, the uniqueness of the 2 individuals.
Did you hear anything from the NFL on Christian McCaffrey's the pass and how that should have been ruled, or if that should have been ruled differently?
Which one? Yeah, matter of fact, I mentioned that we did talk about that at length, and we submitted it again just to see if, you know, what would happen. But they just didn't see it the way we see it, you know, and the interpretation was that there wasn't any act that singled it out. So many guys hit at the same time, it wrecked our chance to getting the pick call, you know, because we ran into ourselves as well as they ran into us. So, you know, that's just, if it happens again, they're going to call it the same way, according to, you know, the league, and we have to avoid that from happening by avoid the collision. But you know, there was some design to the play that allowed it to be potentially a penalty play, but it didn't come out that way.
How would you compare Trey Flowers?
It's pretty diplomatic.
How would you compare Trey's development at this point in his career to Sherman at this point in his rookie season?
Let me wait till the end on that one, and I'll get you some really good evaluation. But he's doing a really nice job. What Trey has done, like kind of independently, like from when you look at Sherman, you look at Shaq last year in his first year, you know, and he has been more effective attacking the football. He's been really good at getting the ball out from guys, and he's got a chance to be really unique that way if it keeps happening, you know, and the focus is there. It's kind of his toughness about being a safety and being a hitter and all that coming up that he's carried it over to the physical side of the game, and he's been very disruptive at the football, and so it's a special part. But there's some similarities in their games. I'm going to wait. I did a big, deep study last year on Shaq and Sherman his first year, and just to see what happens. I'll do that again. I'll let you know later.
What have you thought of Shaquille Griffin's play of late, the last few weeks?
He's withstanding it, you know. It's just the challenges of playing corner. They're going to throw some balls at you, and they're going to catch some of them. It's how do you come back and how do you keep playing. He's been real consistent throughout the year. There's always going to be some plays that get away, you know. So I think he's battling just like we'd hope.
You talked a lot about enjoying coaching defensive backs. Given where Sherman was drafted and the level of success he had in his career, is he one of your most fondest or greatest accomplishments as a coach, identifying?
Well, I don't know about accomplishments, but he probably has done about as well as any fifth-round draft pick has done. You know, yeah, I would think that, but I'm not taking credit for that. No, I just think he's a fantastic player, and we kind of lucked out, you know, seeing it that way. He's still mad at us for drafting him in the 5th round.
When you show guys like Trey and Shaquille footage of Sherman, are there specific plays that you're showing in their specific games?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that I've shown him. Yeah, I have used Sherman in my teaching for those two guys. Yeah. Is there particular plays? No, because there's too many plays. I mean, there's a lot of them that I've shared with him.
Anything new on KJ Wright?
He's working at his rehab out of town. He's doing something special, and that's hopefully going to be a big help to him. If he's out of town, he'll be out all week.
Is it similar to the other special treatments?
This is different.
So
Going back to the Niners run game, what stands out to you about Matt Breida?
No, he's really quick. He's really quick. They're an outside zone running team, stretch the defense, and he has a great burst. He's really fast, and it shows up all the time. Not just when the ball gets on the perimeter and bounces, but when he makes his cutbacks and all. His suddenness is really special, and he's tough. Runs tough and very consistent too.
Pete, so KJ's out for Sunday?
Yes.
What kind of role are Earl and Cam playing as far as talking to guys? Do you sense that Earl's been talking to Tedrick, Cam talking to Bradley, and
Cam's working with us. Yeah, he has come in consistently. It's been great to have him around. Earl's been out of town, but Cam has been really helpful and supportive, and he's such a great character to have around. Any young anybody can benefit from that guy. He's an amazing person.
Is there any scenario by which Earl could return this season, like if the season lasted quite a while after the regular
March
season?
March or April or something like that. You never know.
Into February.
Climate change, something could happen, I don't think so.
Is J.D. McKissick is coming back? Is that the plan?
JD's coming back. Yep, we're going to hopefully get him through the week, and if everything works out right, then we would like to have him participate this week.
How do you try to get him involved? You haven't been able to get 4 guys involved already up to this point. What do you try to do to get him on the field and get use his skill set?
I think we'll wait and see on that one. He's sore. Yeah, he had a strain to his. I don't know what joint it was. Not the ACTC or something. I don't know. Right in here, and he's pretty sore today. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be at the end of the week before we know.
Any new injuries emerged from over the last couple of days from that game?
No, I think we're okay. I think we're good.
what do you like in the Washington-Utah game Friday?
Oh, that's a big matchup. I'm a Washington guy now. Come on. Huskies, let's go. That was a big-time game in the snow, by the way. That was awesome. What an awesome matchup. I just got to see something. I didn't get to see it live, but I got to see some clips of it. What a great matchup. Big win.
Anything else?
Thank you.